Hello to another Aphantasia clip. I've been thinking about doing this one for a while, but I'm not sure I'm going to do it justice, so I might have another go at this, and there might be an additional one which covers this as well. But anyway, this is about memories and emotions. Now, for a while now, I've gone on and discussed my long-term episodic memories being a problem. And it's believed it's part of aphantasia that a third of us will have some form of non-ability to store episodic memory. It's autobiographical in nature. I'm not sure I said that right, but it's basically we don't store those. Now, what that means in reality is I don't store experiences. So now, additional to that, it seems I don't store emotions. Now, you're going to think, well, what does that mean? Well, right, okay, to explain it, I can have emotions and I can think about something, be upset, happy, sad, all of them, but I'm not reliving that experience where that original event might have occurred. So, I mentioned in the past, both mum and dad have died. Karen, who I was with for 20 years, died. These really upsetting times for me at the time. You know, losing your parents, losing a loved one, it just is catastrophic in anyone's life, and the emotions were there at the time. It's not like I didn't have the emotions, but now when I think back to reflect on past memory as much as is possible in my mind, I struggle with the emotional side, and I realise what's happening is, as I start thinking in detail about that particular historical event or time, I recreate the emotion that's appropriate to how I would have felt. So that's the theory of what I think's happening. Now, I have shared this on Twitter and the Facebook group for Aphantasia and Estan, but I really don't understand it well enough to give much more depth to it, but I can just explain what happens. So if I think of a sad event, then I don't have that emotion flooding back. Now, how to explain that? Well, there's actually a very good example of this in television and in books and in films. I watched it the other day and I thought this is a really good reference for this. Now, in the film Harry Potter, there is a part of the story where he has to defend himself or others against evil forces. And I can't remember what they're called. Dementadors, I think, something like that. Anyway, he has to be able to defend himself. Now, he uses a memory, and the strongest emotional memory he has to do that. And he conjures that spell from that place in his past, in his mind. So he uses the strongest emotional memory to do this. And he creates this, I can't remember the name of the word, sorry, this chant, this spell to do that. And he's able to fight them off. Now, I'm going to play that clip from that in this YouTube. So if I pause this for a second. And now, having watched that, hopefully you've got some understanding of what I'm talking about. Now, that's part of the question, or the answer, I suppose, or a theory of the answer. But then the other thing is, I'll get to that in a minute. Well, if we concentrate on that for a second, if I can't experience emotions like that, what is happening? Why can't I do that? Now, I'm pretty sure not everyone does, and I'm pretty sure most of you can. Some people might not be able to, like me, and we don't store them. We just we experience them when we need to in real time. So I've tried to look to see if I can find something that's known about to reference what this could be like, and I found it in dementia and Alzheimer's. They talk about a poorly constructed bookcase. Now, what they do is they use this idea of a poorly constructed bookcase to show that if you had a bookcase with all books on it of your life as memories, so each book represented memories and bits of your life, as the bookcase moves about and it's moved about and things happen, books that are higher up will fall out. So if you imagine your most recent memories are at the top, the highest point, and all your older memories are near the bottom. So what falls out is the more recent stuff. So those memories fall out and they're on the floor, and you can no longer access them according to this theory and the idea of the poorly constructed bookcase. So, okay, well, what does that mean? Well, it means the memories get disassociated from the emotion that went with the memory. And when you start looking at this and you're thinking, okay, if I didn't have the memories, then maybe I don't have the emotions, and it starts to make sense. Now, I'm not saying it's definitely an answer, I'm just saying it's a question, it's an idea to think about, because it fits the model of what I experience in terms of what's happening. And I'd really like others to think about this and think, well, does this fit what actually happens with yourself? Now, I'll pause this video again and show you a still from what the poorly constructed bookcase looks like, so you get an idea of some of the theory behind it. So, having seen the poorly constructed bookcase pictures, you can understand it's a very simple theory, and to extrapolate that and say, does it fit this situation, I think is an interesting model to think about. And I think it really poses some interesting thoughts, because it starts connecting the dots. If I've got aphantasia and I've got memory problems and experience-based memories, then logically speaking, if it follows the way the bookcase works, when they can't access the books that have fallen out that were episodic memories, if they're no longer available and therefore disconnected with the emotions that went with them, then logic would say, if I didn't have the book storage idea in the first place, where's the emotion? It's not connected to it. So rather than have emotions which would be overwhelming and unconnected to an experience, it's simply, they're not stored. So I don't store emotions as a past experience. They're just not stored at all. Now, I think this fits what happens to me, and there are bits of this which are complete theories, which I've put together, and some ideas which I've seen. I really want people to think about is, does it fit what you think works in you? I'm really curious about this, because I want to think about this some more, and I want to try and cover this in a different way. But I wanted to get something out as a video just to kind of say what was in my head, so you can see what this means and how this works. So feel free, reply to this YouTube clip as a message, or write to me on Twitter. I'm going to start putting my Twitter ID at the start of the video, so if you want to look back and write to me there, that'll be on there as well, just to help those that maybe want to do that and ask a question. But I really want to share this and think, well, okay, what happens? Do we experience memories as emotions, or does anybody? I mean, I really don't know, but if they'd done this, I thought of the name, it Patronus charm. If Harry Potter could do the Patronus charm because of having an emotional memory that was so strong he could fight demons with it, where's my one? Why can't I do that? And I suppose I'm looking for clues to how that fits together. I'm not really that stressed about it. I'm just massively curious of how does that work. I'd really like to ask J.K. Rowling how that worked, because I would understanding that would be so interesting. So J.K. Rowling, if you're watching this, please get in touch and I'll try and answer the question for me. But anyway, hopefully that would happen, but never mind if it doesn't. But have a think about it. Think how it might work for you guys and see what you think. And get in touch. It's always good to listen to what other people think and ideas others have. Thanks for watching.